Before Zack and Cody, there was Aly and AJ. Although not twins, the two siblings had a significant run with Disney. Both of the sisters, Allison and Amanda McCullough, had solo appearances in some TV shows and movies before joining forces. But when they did finally become an official duo, they were catapulted to success, of course with the help of the teen phenomenon making machine that is Disney. They made their official Disney debut with the Disney Channel original movie Cowbells. Cowbells is a movie about two rich sisters, Taylor and Courtney, who are pushed to take on working class customs, like having a normal job. They absolutely hate the job at first, grow to love it, and become humble and likable girls, after gaining an experience of normalcy. The movie was a hit, and as of 2019, the sisters revealed that they were working on developing a sequel to Cowbells. So it'll be interesting to see them back on our TV screens. They would continue acting throughout the years, but they came into full visibility when they kicked off their music careers. Do You Believe in Magic was their first song to be released, but No One was one of their first songs to gain traction, being featured on the Ice Princess soundtrack. They would also release a cover of the Katrina and the Waves classic Walking on Sunshine, but their biggest hits from their debut album Into the Rush would be their own original songs. Rush, the title track, is a song I would consider a teen pop classic from the mid-thousands. It's one of their most recognizable songs, and it was their first real hit. It's a good song with a pounding chorus, thematically about taking chances. It went top 60 in the States and was a great introduction to the talented duo. Their debut album Into the Rush was released in 2005 and was moderately successful, eventually going on to sell over 500,000 copies. The album generally consists of a lot of acoustics and pop rock, a perfectly crafted teen pop album from the thousands. Unlike Hilary Duff, Lindsay Lohan, or Vanessa Hudgens, and any other teen pop queen that ruled during that time, they could relate more to someone such as Avril Lavigne. They weren't as blunt or punk as Avril, but they were very hands-on with their image and music, writing all of their songs as she did. They were only 12 and 14 years old when they crafted their debut album, and would later express how excited they were to be involved in the creative process, going on to say, "That was always really important to us. We grew up listening to a lot of artists that wrote their own music," AJ tells US Magazine. "I think if anyone was holding us back and saying you can't write your own material, I don't really know if we'd still want to be putting out art, because it wouldn't feel very genuine to what we want to say. I'm glad we very much set the record straight on the first record that we were going to write all of our material from the ground up, because it ended up kind of paving the way for every record."
I would say, we like to, sometimes when we're collaborating, we like to share our ideas with each other, share them with the producers that are working on the album,
or
the band,
family and stuff like that, like management.
Yeah, we don't keep it too secret. Like, obviously it's our baby and it's not done yet, so we want to keep it fairly under wraps, but at the same time we're pretty cool at sharing with each other.
Yeah, I'll go into a room and say, hey, I have an idea, and we usually write at home in our bedroom, or in our music room.
Yeah.
Sometimes
there's not really a set formula either. People ask, what comes first, and it isn't really, I think it just depends.
Like a
sometimes
vibe.
Lyrics will come first, then melody, and then music, or melody first, and then lyrics, and then music. So it kind of just depends on the day and what you're writing about.
They also spoke about the importance of their song Rush, and how it went on to become a gay anthem for young people all around the world. Rush obviously was a single, and we have a connection to that song, and the cool second life that it was given after its release and the years that followed it. Aly says, "Many kids were listening to that song as closeted children, and they had this anthem that helped them associate with being genuine to who they are, and that they didn't need to be afraid of coming out to their parents or meaning to conform to society." And it's cool that that song really struck a chord with a lot of kids at that age, because the song I don't think was necessarily intended for that, but the message behind it is so much about embracing who you are. Their second release, Acoustic Hearts of Winter, was a Christmas album, and it was on par with their first album. However, their official follow-up to their debut, Insomniatic, is probably their most remembered and loved release today. It's a significant departure from Into the Rush sonically, abandoning acoustics for electronic dance pop and retaining some of their original pop rock elements.
It kind of fit the album, and there's a lot of relationship songs on there, and I guess to us being insomniatic is staying up late at night thinking about someone that I kind of flipped out over. So.
Sure.
Yeah, I think we feel like Insomniatic really summed up the record for us. It was kind of, what we'd been experiencing at the time and what we're experiencing now.
The album has a few hidden gems like Division, If I Could Have You Back, and the title track. The album tells the story of a relationship falling apart and heartbreak, but it's mostly remembered for housing their biggest hit to date, Potential Breakup Song. It is a certified Disney teen classic. The sisters basically talk about a no-good boyfriend and the details leading up to a breakup. It's a fairly standout song for Disney artists, and it's instantaneously catchy. So much so that it became a hit outside of just the Disney audience. It became their first and only top 20 hit, peaking at number 17 in the States, and faring well worldwide. The single went on to sell over 1 million copies, becoming the most successful single for a Disney artist during the time of its release. Insomniatic had one more single, Like Whoa, which was another staple in their teen pop base. But after the release of Insomniatic, when they were on a career high and had just achieved the biggest hit of their career, they suddenly decided to leave the Disney machine. They recorded one last album under Hollywood Records, but decided it wasn't worth releasing. They later talked about why in an interview with US Magazine. I think that we felt like we had free reign to make the music that we wanted to make. I think as we got older and as the label became more successful and more of a machine, says AJ, I think that there was definitely pressure at times to deliver songs that kind of checked off certain boxes, and I think that became frustrating for us. And I think that's ultimately what led us to become independent artists. We saw that they weren't really that excited about the music, and they wanted to promote the first single overseas, which was really strange to us, that they were wanting to take this overseas instead of starting in the US, Aly says. That wasn't like that for the other two records we worked with them on. That was a massive red flag to us, that they were not really invested. They just wanted to take us to Japan to play some shows and kind of shelved this record. AJ and I saw it coming a mile away, so we basically asked to be let go of our contract, and we were, by some miraculous miracle. In 2013, they changed their name to 78 Violet. They created an entire album under the new moniker, but they didn't release it because they were still finding out who they were as artists. In 2017, they reinstated their original group name, Aly and AJ, and released the 10 Years EP. It was their first official release in 10 years, and took on a more 80s inspired sound. They released an EP in 2019 titled Sanctuary, that follows the footprints of 10 Years sonically. If you're into 80s inspired synth pop, then their independent releases might be something you want to check out. Their biggest hit, Potential Breakup Song, is at the heat of a viral sensation right now on the popular social media app TikTok. The resurgence of that song will be sure to bring in some new fans who mostly only knew them because of childhood nostalgia. After a ton of setbacks and self-discovery, they're becoming more consistent with their new releases. With that being said, Potential Breakup Song and Rush are still some of the best songs to be released by Disney acts in the thousands. The fact that Potential Breakup Song has gone viral over 13 years after its release further proves that its catchy melodies and electro-pop production still has the power to draw in widespread attraction.